Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host, as always, coming to you by way of Facebook Live. You can catch me each and every day here, Monday through Friday, from 5 to 6 p.m., or whenever I am available. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in this community, we will talk about it without hesitation or reservation. It's all about you. That's what we do here each and every day from 5 to 6 p.m. here on Facebook Live. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we are on the air. Good evening. Let's get started. It is important each and every day that we do what we do here to keep you informed. You know, you can go and subscribe to this page as well as the YouTube at memphisrealtalk.com, X at memphisrealtalk.com, as well as Spotify with the same memphisrealtalk.com, as well as our Facebook page. You can go to that at memphisrealtalk.com and you can see what we got going on. And we are working to get more for you. It is here, the election season. All who have filed and have qualified will be on the ballot. And it's time for you to pick and choose who you think can best run this city. I think that you can get anybody right now because all the degrees does not matter. It's common sense that matter, right versus wrong. And we know what we have. Greed is always a part of politics in Memphis. All you have to do is sit back, watch, and listen and see what the forensic audit is going to say. Oh, it's going to say a lot of greed, in my opinion. Hey, Session, the House Speaker in Nashville, said that just a peek at it has showed him that there is a problem with $1.8 billion of the school board, that budget. What do you mean that there's a problem? What does he mean when he said it looked like there is some misappropriation of funds and management? Well, Dr. Marie Fagan was on target when she talked about the mismanagement, when she refused to allow certain contracts and people got upset. Have you noticed people in politics and some cannot, don't have, excuse me, two nickels to rub together, but oh, they live in large and in charge with it, the school board. Well, some people ought to be a little nervous now whenever they come out with that audit. You live in large, if you've been flogging, if you've been riding slick, and you've been tricking everybody, your day is coming. What goes around, as they used to say, is coming around. He who soweth the wind shall reap the whirlwind. The whirlwind is coming. It's coming by way of elections because we can no longer afford, ladies and gentlemen, to keep the same people in office over and over. And I'm looking at people jumping from one position when you can't run anymore. You go to another position. You're living off the back of the taxpayers' dollars. That's all you're doing. Is there not anyone else that's qualified to run for a position in the city of Memphis? The way I look at it and the people named that's on it, there are some new faces, but are they qualified for the position that they're running in? Well, we had a very special guest in on yesterday. Gerald Green came in and told you that he's running for the vision seven as a county commissioner. And when I looked at it and saw who he's running against, Lord have mercy. That's none other than Henry Brooks. Lord, been around longest time almost, playing politics and benefiting off of the people. And I have a problem with that. This young man is out here trying to make a difference. I talked to him on and off camera. He has some concern that he wants to deal with in that district. And I'm saying to all of my listeners, give this young man the benefit of the doubt. Give these people who come in the benefit of the doubt. But when we have the old soldiers who sit back and doing nothing, you haven't benefit at all from Henry Brooks in that district or other who have been around for a long time and doing nothing. It's about a paycheck. And I invite any and all of them to come and talk to us on this program. It's time out. It's time for you to make a decision. If you don't make a decision now as it relates to getting rid of some of these people who have been around here for years, think about it. People who have been serving you for 20 and 30 years. People who want to run from another position because the position that they were in has ran out. You got people like um, Carla Stout, who got in the race and divided the race of the criminal court clerk, just jumped in the race, don't have a clue about what to do in criminal uh, court. Just think about it. Someone don't even know where the bathroom is. Gonna have to be told and directed how to become a criminal court clerk. You got one jumping from one race, a clerk's office to another clerk's office. Are you sick and tired of that? Are you sick and tired? We know what's going on. Sick and tired of being sick and tired? Yes, I am. I'm looking for people who really want to serve. And you know, if you go back there and you ask any of those people who have been in office for a long time, and to me, you know, they say you're a public servant. They say you're an individual that want to serve the public. Well, what happened if all of those people that want to serve the public, they want to give you all of this, that, and the other, and what I will do if you elect me, tell them as a public servant, serve the public. Tell them that they don't need the salary. And see how many public servants will you have serving the public. I'll tell you, they'll run like roaches when you turn the lights on because it's all about the money. It is not about public service. They want the position, they want the power, and they want the money. If you're going to call yourself a public servant, serve the public. Give me a salary. Some old politicians used to say, here, take my salary, uh, donate it to the different organization because I'm a public service. You know, you got executive serving in various corporations in this city, but yet they want to be public service, getting big checks, but they still want to be public service and serving the public, but they still want that check that gets come from you, that they get from you. It don't make sense to me. You know, I worked all my life, always had a job, been working ever since I was 12 years old, doing what was needed to do in this community. I've sat at the feet of many, many politicians that have been there before some of these individuals were even born. But it's about that money. It's about, as I always say, that 30 pieces of silver. Either you get it the right way or you get it the wrong way. It's all about the power, the position, and the money. I'm Jennings Bernard. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. If you would like to call, you know the number 901 288 5779. Feel free to give us a call. Again, I want you to know that Gerald Green, candidate for District 7, County Commissioner, is running against Henry Brooks. You heard him on yesterday, and I got others scheduled to come and talk to you. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Why do we keep putting the same old people in the position, one position to another position? It's time to change because, hey, they're taking from Peter to pay Paul. They're waiting on the check from one trustee so they can pay the bill. To me, that's bad management. If you have to wait on a check to come to pay, taken from Peter to pay Paul, government shouldn't be ran that way. But the people will tell you in a minute, well, that's how government run. Well, that's how government run. That's why we're in the position, in my opinion, that we are in. Because we're taking from Peter to pay Paul and we're not doing anything that really help you. You can also comment, good evening and hello to you, Ronald Smith. Thank you for coming in and being a part of us. The rest of you who are out there listening, and you are listening because they keep up on Facebook how many views that we're getting on this program. And we're getting thousands of views, and I appreciate you. I give you all the opportunity to continue to be a part of this community and a part of this program. Tell you what you do. Just give me a call, 901 288 5779, and we'll get you in here. Give you the opportunity to come in and sit down and talk to this audience in Memphis. What are you going to do? What are you going to do if you are elected? Will we still be in chaos? Will the violence still be a part of this city? It's going to take strong leadership to turn this city around. Stop playing with us, these individuals that are in office right now and not doing a thing to help you. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you sick and tired of looking at potholes, the blight in your community? But these people who have been in office serving you for 4 years or now want to serve another 4. But look around your community, as I always say. If nothing has changed, that's your fault because you have representatives that are not stepping up to the plate to represent you. Well, I had an opportunity on yesterday, last night, about 6:30, after my show, to listen to the debate of the individual that was running for Shelby County mayor. There was some good debate. There were some good points being made, points to draw you in to either side. Well, they said that in a survey that Dr. Marie Fagan came up with, 48% of the people said that if the election were held on yesterday, 48% of the people said they would vote for Dr. Marie Fagan. That says a whole lot. See, I think it ought to be a certain thing that they put out, that all of these people that are getting this raise, if you don't at least get a certain double digit for its people saying that they will support you, if you're in the single digit, you need to step out and let the people make the choice. Because what you're going to do, all of the individuals that is in the city, I mean single digit, uh, and not the double digit for a survey, you need to step back. You're just there, in my opinion, to cause other people to end up losing because that old saying, when you divide, you conquer. And that's what's going to happen. Some people had 4%. Now, 4% of the people saying that they will vote for you, then you know that that is a problem right there. But then you got system that's set up, and people are asking the question of others, why is the male, black male Democrats are leaving the Democratic Party? Well, it's a good old boys thing. People got these networks that they go and try to get people together. And I always look at this. When you see people running and they're getting $300,000 and $400,000, you got to think for a minute, where is that money coming from? Who is that money coming from? It's coming from the power that be the power player to handpick the individual that they want to be in. You'll see two or three individuals, black, who are uh, getting this kind of money. You see Floyd Bonner played both sides. He was playing with the Republican, played with the Democrats, uh, and he ended up being the sheriff twice. You got Buckner, who is now the chief deputy, and I always wondered that because that was a time, ladies and gentlemen, back in the day, that if you were running for a office and you were the candidate and you worked in that position, you had to step down. Whatever happened to that? Because as the chief deputy, Buckner is on TV all the time. He's talking about whether the sheriff department saved children who was about to drown. He's still getting that free publicity. The news media are covering him when any problem right now is in the jail or whatever dealing with the sheriff department. They're putting Anthony Buckner up to speak. Well, if he's speaking and people are hearing this, he's getting free advertising. Well, the politician back in the day, if you was getting free advertising like that from a position you're running, and then they would go to the news media and ask for that same equal time. But the politicians now don't even know. They just jump in and run. Equal opportunity, equal time. And Buckner is on television all of the time. These are the things that we need to address. If you're going to run, you need to know certain things about running for office. And what we have is people just throwing their name in the race. And believe this, there are people in the race that are not there really to win. They are really there to divide and conquer for somebody else, the player, the players that's out there getting that money. You're being sold out every day, every night by people who look like you and I. They are not there to win, they are out there to divide. And that's the problem we have. Uh, I look forward to others coming on and want to be a part and talk to you. And I look forward to those people. What did you think last night? If you looked at the debate last night, it was live screaming all over social media. You could have picked it up. I picked it up on different platforms, sit there and sit back and just watch and listen. Uh, I think Dr. Marie Fagan and definitely supporting her from the very beginning. And you know, I'm always try to do what's right and wrong and look at the situation. And I think, they don't stab their own self uh, when you come to the uh, school board. When you got rid of her within 9 months, you woke up this sleeping community, and they showed that they are sick and tired of people playing games. There are people, in my opinion, that whole school board need to be taken out because y'all voted together to put Dr. Roderick Richmond in there. The man man, in my opinion, behind the door, knew that he was going to be the interim, and then they made him permanent before uh, the new election. And I think, and I keep saying that that should have been the job of the new board, whether or not to give him that position. He had been interim for over a year. Why not wait another couple of months to get the new school board in and allow them to make the decision? But these individuals, these creepy crawlers, in my opinion, went on and creeped up and crawled up and put Roderick Richmond in there. Well, the new school board, I believe, ought to do the same thing that they did to Dr. Fagan, do to Dr. Richmond. Nothing has changed since he's been the interim. We don't know whether the kids are above the average as it relates to since he's been there. What have he been doing? Styling and profiling? Uh, haven't done anything to make a difference in our children's life. You gave Dr. Fagan 9 months, if I'm correct on that, and I believe I am. He's been in there over 9 months. What is different when it comes to our children? What have the school board done when it comes to our children? Absolutely nothing. So let's clean up the school board. Let's clean up the county commissioner. Let's clean it up. And we know that Lee Harris is gone and should never come back again for anything. You see what you got. Now, this is something that really bothers me when I look at it. When you realize that the creepy crawler you had in there for 8 years is now no good because you waited 8 years before you found out the creepy crawler called Lee Harris is nothing but a creepy crawler. Now you realize it. You need to start thinking before it's too late. The creepy crawler, as I call it, is gone now. The creepy crawler uh, did nothing but wanted to raise your taxes. What are you going to do when it comes time for you to really know the candidates? And that's why I do here. That's why I do what I do. I'm trying to give you an element, an opportunity to make a difference, to bring these individuals here for you. What did you think? Tell me, and I want to hear from somebody. Just tell me what you thought of the candidates last night. Some stood up to the mic on numerous occasions to say, this is what I'm going to do. And some just sit there like, hey, not on the law. You know, I couldn't sit there and I couldn't do nothing but laugh. Uh, the criminal court clerk's office isn't in a mess. People who are qualified in that position know exactly what to do, left and decide. I'm taking out of this 30, 25, 30 years of knowledge. I'm taking it out and leaving and going home. I'm not going to let you sit back and with this knowledge that I have and think you're going to benefit from the knowledge and you know nothing. And it's obvious she knows nothing about the criminal court clerk's office in the period of time she's been there because it's a mess. People are still leaving. People are transferring out. She was misusing the people. To some of them left the office. Some decided to go to other office because of the poor leadership. But now she got in that office, and she should never be allowed to come back into another political position because she just been jumping around from county, all over the county from the sheriff's office, did nothing there. I got reports that she didn't do anything there. Supposed to been over planning. What did she plan? What did she do? Bouncing from one position to another. And we have to wake up about these people who are doing this for. self-gain. They don't care anything about you. It's time for you to wake up and think about this thing. Organize your family. You're in charge of your family. Organize your family. Sit down and talk about these races and the people and their qualification. How long have you been involved in community activities? How long have you been a public servant? What have you done to make a difference? These are the type of questions that need to be answered uh, every day when it comes to politics. You need to take time. If you're retired and you got time, go to some of these county commission meetings, go to the city council meeting, and look at how much money is being given to these politicians and being the politician but public entities and no checks and balances. Just giving your money away. What happens if they stop giving our tax dollars away to these nonprofits? We would probably have money to pay our bills. Millions upon millions of dollars are being given to these individuals where there are no checks and balances. And that's why we have to take from Peter to pay Paul. Deficits are left from one administration to the other, and we can't pay our bills. Bad decisions are being made all over the city of Memphis. Tell me what you think. Organize your family and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to vote as a family. We're going to sit down and discuss these issues. And if you don't know anything about these individuals and their qualification, then don't vote for them. But then if you know about these people who've been around and your conditions in your community has not changed, why would you give them your vote? Why would you give them your vote? It just do not make any sense. If I look at the politicians who have been around and running for county mayor, some of them have been around and understand what's going on because they've been there. But with the knowledge that they have and what they're talking about what they're going to do, they haven't done anything in the position that they're in now. What makes you think that they're going to do anything different? You had a glimpse of what the potential is going to be if whoever been elected. Uh, you see what would happen. If they went from one position, it was a chaos and a mess in that position, and then they're going to have the same chaos in another position because if they didn't do it well in the position that they had, it was controversy there, and they did not know that position. And going to a position that they've never been in before is going to be chaos. It's going to be messed up. So why would you vote for them? I'm Jenny Bernard, and you're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. We are getting individual. Uh, now that the list is out, we will call and see what they're going to say and come to you. Some think they're called because they're an incumbent, that they got the leg up. They're running, not necessarily. If you take time and just think about it and go to these forums, and if they'll allow you to ask the question, why are we in the same position in our district that we was 4 years ago? We're still in this position now, and you've been in charge. What have you done? And you will find out that they will try to tell you that they did this, that, and another, but you know, they think you're blind, that you can't see. But allow these folks to know that you can see and you see absolutely nothing that's being done in your district. Drive through the community like I do. I used to drive through the community have a video, look at the blight. And I remember when I used to put them on my Facebook page, the individual would complain to have that removed because I go up and down the street, video and then put it up and say, this is what's happening in District 7. The blight is still here. You have voted for an individual in that district to make life easier, better for you, to communicate with you. And you may not hear anything from them until it's election time. And they come around telling you the same old song and the same tap dancing that they've been doing for 4 years, but hey, they want to sit in the chair of power and tell you, hey, this is what we're going to do uh, for you. What the old saying used to be, vote for me and I'll set you free. You still sitting in the same place, in the same seat, and nothing has happened. We have to make a change and we have to find out. I say a forensic audit ought to be done in every seat, every position in this community. And you'll find out things that you never knew. I say to you that the individuals, no matter who they are, once they get into office, should be drug tested. I believe that. I believe right now that there are a percentage of the people that are running, there are people that are elected that couldn't pass a drug test. I believe that. Certain positions that have been appointed to people and they're in no position, in my opinion, can't pass a drug test. And I ask, and I continue to ask individuals, how many people do you think that holding position that are elected official couldn't pass a drug test? A lot of them say, yeah, there's a whole lot of them that couldn't pass a drug test. Now, you don't want a police officer, fireman, deputy sheriff, you wouldn't want them to be on drugs in the position that they're in, especially law enforcement. If a person is in law enforcement and using drugs, that person is dangerous. That's why the sheriff's department, I don't know about the police department, but the sheriff's department used to give you random drug spray. And they come to me and, Bernard, it's that time. I said, come on, let's go. Because I had no problem. You could wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, tell me to piss in the jar. I piss all over the jar because I know I don't do drugs. Never have, never will. But can you do that by some of your appointed and elected officials? It's important to know to me because you got people who are using drugs that's sitting in the seat that's supposed to be taking care of your business. But nobody seems to want to have that conversation. And to me, that is a very important conversation to have. Would you want an individual using drugs of any kind sitting in the seat and making $1 million decisions that affect you in your community, making decisions when it comes down to your money, making decisions when it comes down to what businesses should come in and be given taxes, free tax for so many years where they don't have to pay. Decisions are being made like that. They'll say, oh, we got to do this to get business to come in. Well, what results have we gotten? People talk about, oh, they're providing 300 jobs. What is 300 jobs to 3,000 or more people's lives that are being lost because of the decision that you made? Clearly, you wasn't thinking, but those things are happening in our community behind the doors, and nobody is willing to step up to the plate and ask the question. Nobody wants to take a drug test. Why? I still got Commissioner Beers, who I asked to give me a call over 2 weeks now ago, but I have yet to get that call back. She is the individual supposed to represent this area where I live in. The question I want to ask, are you or do you have any knowledge of the 200+ million of COVID money? There's so many allegations being circulated and thrown around in regard to the money given during the COVID situation. I want to know from her if she don't know, and maybe she wasn't there during that time. But these are things you need to know. You need to be aggressive enough. If you're an elected official and you're hearing these things, then you need to inquire who was in the position of county mayor during that time. You know who he is. You know who he was that was in that position. And it keeps coming up. They said, Bernard, keep asking those questions about the COVID money. That's where a federal audit, a state audit, or whatever audit needs to be done, it needs to be done, ladies and gentlemen. It needs to be done so you can know what is happening to your tax dollars. Now they want to build a new jail. It's not off the table that they still want to build it over there in New Chicago, over there where the old Firestone plant. And Gerald Green talked about that he was down there. He was a part of that discussion. And he realized that it should be put out there in the Pelham Farm area. That's common sense. But they want to put it in the heart of a black community. They want the Columbine AI put in South Memphis. And I hear people that I know and comments they're always making that there is no problem uh, with it being in the black community. Uh, Nothing is going to be done. And you don't know crap about those turbines and what's being put out in that community. But always put it in the black community. Put the new jail when they raise your taxes to build. Put it in the black community. Everything that can hurt a community is always, in my opinion, as I see it, in the black community. Why? And then you have your own people that's supposed to represent you, supposed to be arguing the position why it shouldn't be in your community. They sit up there and do nothing, twirling around in the seat and doing absolutely nothing. Let's flip this thing up. Let's turn it upside down when it comes to this election. I'm going to continue to talk to you about this. I'm continuing to make these points, hoping that you will wake up and come together and say enough is enough. We're not going to let this happen anymore. I'm going to get the list soon. Hopefully, I have it by this week and come back and talk about these individuals. And what are they doing? Why are so many people in a position to run for county mayor, to run for the sheriff's department? What qualification do you have to be the sheriff? And I'm going to call these individuals and get them in here to talk to me in the sheriff race. And those who want to come in and talk about the county mayor's race, come on. And all of these other positions, we got everybody that want to run. Are you qualified to be in the position? Yeah, you say, well, I'm qualified because I can, I can sign up. I'm over 18 and all of that. Yeah, but see, I think we need to correct that Just because you're 18 don't mean you qualified. And we are finding out just because you got a PhD in whatever don't make you qualified. Above all things, I believe common sense should play a part, not greed, not power. I believe common sense in a position of authority should be the first priority. How do you judge common sense? You judge it by sitting back and looking at the snakes in the grass who lay in the grass until it's time to strike. And they're doing backdoor dealing and wheeling and dealing. And you know they are. But show them in this election that you're not going to sit down and not do anything anymore. The day of that is over. And you can prove it, ladies and gentlemen. You can prove it right now. As always, I do appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this program. I thank God each and every day for the opportunity to sit here and talk to you and for you to be able to listen to what I have to say. And what I say comes from the heart, and I hope it reaches the heart. I hope it reaches the mind to say that, hey, Jennings is telling us what needs to be said and what needs to be known. And let's do something to change around. But guess what? If you don't, then I'll be here once the election is over, telling you stupid is as stupid does. If you put some of these same old politicians, and I used to say the same old warmed up soup to be served to you over and over again, that's what you got when you got these politicians that have done nothing for you to help you. It's like the warm up old soup that's being served to you, and you ought to get tired of it because you want something different. You want people smart. You want people that know what it is to lead you out of this chaos. Because no matter what it is, if you go back in the chaos of this United States of America during the Depression, it had to be somebody that step up to the plate to lead us out of the depression that we was in. If it would, we would still be going through what we're going through. It all starts at the top and it trickles down to the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this program. As always, hey, you can stay tuned. We'll be here each and every day from 5 to 6 p.m. In the words of my grandmother, she always said, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll see you on tomorrow with more information and more candidates coming in to talk to you. Remember what I said. I always said, trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. God bless. You have a great evening.